Okay, good day engineers. Mag-start na naman tayo sa video natin. Ang topic natin ngayon is supports. Okay, so it may seem simple. Okay, simple lang. Pero maraming tiniest detail kasi na kailangan malaman nyo muna o baka may mga hindi pa kayo alam dito sa supports na kailangan nyo nang malaman before we go on to our next topics. Well, last time we have talked about equilibrium of structures and all the other things. Actually, malaman talaga yung last yung last video. Actually, patulog na ako, so pero I need to make this video. Yan, pasensya na sa itsura natin, Pero I will make this video no matter what. So before I start this video, I just had to make this introduction so that I could like tour you kung ano yung pag-aaralan natin ngayon. Of course, supports and different types of supports. There are three basic categories based on their number of reactions. Okay, so we are going to the topic and I will say bye for now. So tutok ko yung camera natin dun sa ating board, Enjoy! Okay, so yun mag-start na tayo dun sa ating discussion about supports. Of course, naka-draw na lahat ng kailangan natin dyan, okay? Basic types of supports. So, we are going to discuss all of those types of supports one by one. Okay? Okay, so, yan. Of course, I know na familiar na kayo sa mga yan. Pero we are gonna discuss them in a way na may mga bagay na alam kong hindi pa nababanggit sa inyo about these types of supports. Okay, so let's define supports lang muna. Okay, sa structural engineering. Supports are what we use to attach our structural or our structure so that we can resist yung translation or rotation that is gonna be caused by our applied loads. Okay, so kung nag-apply ka ng loads going to the right or horizontal loading and it's gonna cause your structure to translate that direction, your support is needs to like exert a resistance or a reaction going against that direction. So it's gonna be opposite in direction but equals in magnitude of that applied loadings. Okay, so supports are what we use in order for us to counter those translations and rotations that is gonna be caused by our applied loadings. Okay, so yan, meron tayong three basic categories, okay, based on the number of reactions na in-exert nila, okay. So meron tayo dun sa unang category natin. So may category 1, tatlo. First is roller, second is rocker. Okay, so and link. Okay, so rocker sa link hindi ko pa nakita sa site, okay? But it's not hard to understand how they work. Okay? So para lang din silang roller. Okay, so meron tayong drawing diyan. Example. Okay, so meron tayong dalawang example ng roller. Okay, alam naman natin yung characteristic ni roller is free siya to translate horizontally. Not really horizontally but along the supporting surface. Okay, so your reaction natin is laging perpendicular to the supporting surface. Okay, like yung unang example sa taas. Okay, so perpendicular yung ating reaction. Yung reaction natin is yung nasa right side, okay, perpendicular to the surface nung support natin. Okay, so wala tayong wala tayong rotation. Actually, there's a possibility, it's not really that free to rotate, but there's not enough resistance that our roller can exert to be able to transmit a rotation, kaya wala tayong rotation dyan sa rollers, okay? Lalo na yung horizontal translation, okay? Lalo yung horizontal forces, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng horizontal force dyan kasi free to translate yan horizontally or along dun sa ating supporting surface. So, parallel lagi dun sa supporting surface natin. So, sa baba, meron tayong example dyan. Okay, like I said, it's not always vertical. It's just perpendicular to the supporting surface. So, yung example natin sa baba, may supporting surface tayo that is inclined. Okay, so kaya meron lang tayong ano dyan, given lagi na, meron tayong given lagi na angle. Because we need to use the angle in order for us to transform our reaction into its component, ano? For example, we are gonna solve for summation of forces vertical, so we need the angle in order for us to translate that reaction into a vertical reaction, ano? Okay, since it is in an inclined surface, so we can translate them into, translate that reaction into its components, so that we can get the uh, summation that we need for our analysis or our solving. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa roller, which is one of the most basic supports that we use in order for us to solve our problems in structural analysis. Okay, so mostly used yan. Okay, so we have second is tracker. Okay, so ganito lang siya, basically. Okay, and yung ano niya, yung uh, reaction niya is just vertical to our supporting surface. Okay, so it remains, no, it doesn't stay in the same location, but it's still a vertical support. So it has a vertical reaction, just like the roller, ano? Okay, so it resists upward what is being applied downward. Okay, so our third type of support for our first category, which has just one reaction, is the link. Okay, so yan. Rigid to, ano? Rigid yung straight line na yan onto our support. Nakalimutan ko lagyan ng R yung ating reaction dun sa right side. Oh, like always, we have the theta. Okay, we have the angle for us to translate our reaction into components when we need to. Okay, so the reactions may either move towards our structure or away. Okay, so how does a reaction go away from our structure? Okay, so nasanay kasi tayo na laging towards the structure, katulad niyan. Okay, so yung structure natin, so downward yung structure, tapos meron tayong reaction lagi na papunta mismo dun sa structure, so reaction natin laging pabalik dun sa structure, ano. But it says in the book that it can go away, so but it didn't really say how, so nag-research na lang ako. So it happens when a support like sink in. Okay, so kung yung support mo lumubog and yung structure mo is gonna be pulled down, so magkakaroon ng uh, reverse. Okay, so mag-reverse yung reaction mo. Okay, so ayan, yun ang magiging dahilan kung bakit magiging away yung reaction ng ating, for example, itong link na to, it is linked onto the wall and then the wall collapsed or the walls sinked a little. So magkakaroon ng tension to doon sa ating uh, link. Okay, so imbes na it will be compressed, it will be in under tension. Okay, so yung ano niya, yung magiging reaction or like force niya to our structure is gonna be away from that structure. Okay, so tapos na tayo dyan, tatlo. Again, roller, rocker, link. Okay, so if you want to see samples of these types of supports, you can just simply search them on the internet if you want to see them in actual. Okay, hindi na ako nag-provide ng picture kasi as you can see, I'm not that good with editing. So I use boards. Okay, so I use boards and black pentel pen. Okay, so tuloy lang tayo. Mas marami pa kayong malalaman, lalong-lalo dito sa hinge, ano? Okay, so hinge na tayo. Yung fourth or second basic category na tayo is under dyan hinge lang naman or yung ating flexible support. Okay. So pati sa connections ano meron tayong hinge. So it is flexible as well. So ito yung lagi kong sinasabi na wag yung kakalimutan pagdating sa hinge ano. It is a flexible support so it means it allows rotation. Okay, so yung structure mo can rotate along the plane of your support. Okay, so itong reaction ng ating hinge, it can be from anywhere, any direction. Okay, so but mostly yung ating practice is tinatranslate natin siya into components. Like this example, yung sa top example natin, ano, so RX, RY, ganun din tong sa baba. But like I said, it is free to rotate. You can imagine, no, meron siyang ano diyan, ano, meron kang pivot yung may tuldok. So meron kang pivot area. Oh, so pwedeng umikot yung ano mo diyan. Pwedeng umikot yung structure along dun sa ating support. Siyempre dun sa plane ng support natin, it can rotate on that plane. So that's why yung ating hinge support is it is not exerting a resistance on rotation. Okay, so wala tayong rotation kaya wala tayong moment dyan as you can see unlike the fixed support. Okay, you need to always remember that. And it can come from it can come from anywhere kasi nga nagro-rotate yung ating structure. It can rotate the structure can rotate so yung ating hinge can rotate too when our structure rotates. So yung reaction niya is nagbabago rin ano. Although yung practice natin is by translating that reaction into components before we solve for other reactions or for other things that we need to solve onto our problem. Okay, but if it is just a reaction, it can come from anywhere. I mean, it can come from any direction. Okay, so kaya nga sometimes akala natin parallel yung RX sa horizontal reactions in a structure, but it is not. It is actually not because the reaction of our hinge actually is a resultant reaction is not really coming just from that direction. It was just resolved into component. So may mga problems tayong matatakel na bawal tayong gumamit ng parallel or concurrent forces, especially when we are building structures that needs to be stable, internally stable or externally determinate, which are gonna uh, talk about on our next topics. Okay, and makikita mo doon, sasabihin sa'yo, hindi concurrent yung reactions, but makikita mo yung RX magmi-meet along dun point, sa isang point dun sa structure to other reactions, okay? But it would not be said as concurrent because the reaction of our hinge is not really that, but our resultant hinge. So we consider that, I mean, our resultant reaction on our hinge. So that's what we consider. Okay, so yung sa baba, hindi naman ganong mahirap na i-explain pa yan. Ganun pa rin, free to rotate, yung structure mo, ano, it can move, it can rotate, parang ganyan, right? Okay, so gusto nyo ng actual hinge support, search nyo lang sa so mostly steel mo makikita yung mga yan, ano. Okay, so si fix, yung madalas nating nakikita is sa concrete. Ito na, siya yung last. Okay, umabot na tayo sa dulo. Okay, so si fix, meron siyang moment and two reactions, reaction forces, RX and RY. So hindi components yan. Meron talaga siyang resistance against translation in the horizontal direction, and meron din siya sa vertical, ano. So yan yung fix, yan yung madalas nakikita natin. Yan yung sa reinforced concrete, yan yung sa concrete natin, ano, pag nagkakaroon tayo ng connection or supports na hindi talaga gumagalaw. So pag hindi gumagalaw yan, it can transmit rotation, it can transmit any type of force. Okay, so magkakaroon yan ng resistance completely, so complete. Merong pwedeng magkaroon ng torsion. Okay, so pag may torsion, meron ding rotation reaction yung ating structure. So kaya nga itong fix natin, meron tayong reaction or moment reaction, meron tayong horizontal reaction, at meron din tayong vertical reaction because it is fixed and it does not move. So it's really fixed and rigid yung ating support. Okay, so yun na, that concludes all of the uh, supports, types of supports that we can use when we are building our structures. Okay, so ano lang tayo ng recap, ano? So, three categories. Yung una lang naman yung marami, so roller, rocker, and link. Yan lang, ano? So, yung pangalawa nating category is hinge lang. And then, fixed yung last. Okay, I know na may mga bagay kayo narinig dito na hindi nyo narinig noon. No? That will really help you be able to solve problems. Okay, na hindi maaaring malito kayo in the future. Okay, pag hindi nyo alam itong mga tiniest detail na pinagdi-discuss natin dito, ano? So, marami pa tayong bago-usapan. And on to our next video. Ano na nga yung next topic natin? We are going to talk about determinacy. Okay, the determinacy and stability of structure internally, externally. Okay, so external redundancies. Pag-usapan natin yan sa next videos. Okay, so napakalaga ng mga yun before we go on to our next topics. So if you really want to learn structural analysis, stay watching sa mga next videos natin na i-upload. Okay? Again, I'm Engineer JC from Civil Math PH, always at your service. Tuturuan kayo kung anong nalalaman ko, i-share ko kung anong alam ko. And I really love structural engineering. I really love learning. So, ipapasa ko lang sa inyo yung energy natin, ano. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe our video. That gives me motivation. Although kahit wala yun, may motivation tayo to go on that other people cannot understand, of course. But we are still gonna go do our job, do our thing to help other people, especially students. Ano kasi pagdating kasi sa school, hindi ko naman inaano ang school. But what I remember is that they're not too detailed to teach things like this. Okay, especially to supports lang, ano. Pero marami tayong pinag-usapan, especially yung roller. Okay, roller and hinge. Okay, yung sinabi ko about roller and hinge, wag na wag niyong kakalimutan. Yan lang. Peace out.